welcome back to Walk, Run, Soar. Today is day 17. Yes. As you can see, I'm back home. I came back from Washington State, got back to the house close to midnight, so I'm a little tired, emotionally drained. My husband's still back there, but he'll be, he's, hanging out with family, just for a couple more days, and then he'll be back here in a few days. And I know this is not the most attractive I've ever looked, but honestly, I'm just wanting to be comfortable because it's gonna take me a day or two to get back into the swing of things, and then we leave for spring break. So anyways, so today is day 17. We're doing number 22 in the book, Soaring Through the Clouds. Our verse is Exodus 13, verse 21. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them along the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, that they may travel by day and by night. So of course, this is from the story of Moses leading his people out of Egypt, getting out of the slavery and going to the land that they were promised. She talks about, and I completely understand this, and I got to see some awesome examples of this actually out in Washington. The way my in-laws' house, the way their window is, it looks out onto, they live in kind of a valley, and there's this great mountain view way across the way. You can actually see a ski hill on a clear day, but the sun rises on the clouds because it rises. The window faces east. So the sunrises there are just awesome. It's one of my favorite things about going to visit there. But anyway, she talks about how the clouds always remind her we serve a big creative God who is present with us. And so she talks about the journey of the Israelites and how God was continually present. He had a way to lead them by day and a way to lead them by night. So he was always there helping to lead them out. God sometimes uses cloudy, uncertain times in our lives to draw us to himself. He may use clouds to invite us into his presence like he did with the Israelites. He often brings cooler temperatures on cloudy and overcast days. This can certainly be a relief from the heat when we're walking or running. Amen to that. Definitely, as we're slowly but surely we're creeping up to warmer temperatures here. It was 35 when I woke up this morning, but I think the high is upper 60s today. So we're getting into that nice spring / some summer warm weather. And I know running, those clouds can be a definite blessing to cross over that sun and just give you a little bit of relief when it does get real warm. So she says, "Friend, are you in the midst of a cloudy or rainy season? Let me remind you today that he leads, speaks, and guides us through the clouds. He cares about the details of your life, and you're never alone." So true. Our faith step. How would you describe your life situation today? Is it cloudy or clear? She recommends writing in a journal to reflect on those questions and how God might be using this season to draw you to himself. I know, just briefly mentioned it on here, what my in-laws have been dealing with the past few weeks, but I know it because it felt so different than past visits with my family that yes, the loss is sad, but I know it brought all of us closer. Like, I already feel my relationship with my father-in-law, with my sister and brother-in-law, we went through this hard time, but it brought us all closer. And I think things like this do that. And we rejoice because we know where she is and that she's no longer suffering. So that part's good. And, the loss is sad, but that part is good. But I do know with all the friends and family where I got to meet some amazing people that I hope I get to visit again next time we're out there. And it was sad, but it was good. I think that's sometimes how God operates. If you look for the good, I think majority of the time you can probably find it. I hesitate to say that because there can be some really bad things that can happen, but I mean, the Bible tells us that God works all things for good. I don't know if that always means we'll know it this side of heaven, as the cliche saying goes. Our inspirational quote is from Sarah Hall. I've become a big fan of the Halls recently. Ryan Hall has a book that's also a really good book. You should check it out. And Sarah Hall, of course, I'm a fan of her as well. But she says, she's an elite American marathoner. She says, "I'm not afraid to fail. I'll go toe the line even when I'm really tired in the middle of hard training. And a lot of times I feel better than I think." And I can agree with that. There's so many times, and I think a lot of runners will say this, so many times where you don't feel like getting out there and doing a run that day or doing a workout that day. But I can't really think of a whole lot of times where you ever regret it at the end. Still feel the way you did when you started. Like, man, I'm still, you know, I didn't need this today. I don't think I've ever said that. By the time I'm done, I'm like, I'm really glad I did that. I feel good, you know, even if you're tired or sore. At least for me, I always feel good. Training notes from Coach Sean, and I do this. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll see a couple of times where I've done this. Motivate yourself to run by establishing a reward contingent upon your successfully accomplishing a specific goal. And you know, he gives some examples, and like I've done, when I did my first 13.1 miles, it was my pop socket for my phone, "A dream is a wish your heart makes," because I wanted to do it before I signed up for a Disney half, and so this pop socket was my reward. And then a new PR and a 10K, I think, was my blue Run Disney thing that I found on Facebook Marketplace. You know, little things like that. Oh, my necklace for beating my goal for my Princess Half for Time here before I went to Disney this year, my castle necklace. So I do that all the time. I get made fun of, but it gives you something to work towards, something to look forward to, which is something I always need. So good one today. So we're back on a regular schedule, I will say that. Tomorrow there'll be a part 1 and a part 2. I shouldn't have any problems uploading like I did while I was gone. That's honestly kind of a perk about going out where my in-laws live, is, you know, it kind of forces you to step back from, you know, the noise of social media, because, you know, there's not a whole lot of internet out there, so it's always nice. But we'll have a part 1 and part 2 tomorrow, and we'll get back on a regular schedule. So I hope everyone is well, and I will see you tomorrow.